The hunt is on for the Florida Panthers.
Goal save it and they score!
The regular season in full swing, and with it, a push to survive and advance.
Some more bodies to the net could cause more chaos.
Injuries already taking its toll.
The weight doesn't get heavier, you just have fewer guys to lift.
The goal remains the same, to hoist Lord Stanley's Cup and rewrite hockey history.
We're going to fight for that goal every day.
This season, we're bringing you an entirely new perspective of Panthers hockey.
We have at least one spare for everything.
New analysis.
I don't care if you're the top team in the league or the last team in the league. Every night, it's a battle.
New stories.
I was in the Army. I got drafted in 1967.
All with a brand new look and new flair from the Cats.
To the Florida fans, I would say enjoy the process.
This is Panthers 360.
He is your big dog in the ring.
This is Panthers 360, presented by RK Zero Proof Spirits.
The Florida Panthers back in the Sunshine State, now in the midst of a stretch of 5 home games. That includes games against the Tampa Bay Lightning and Edmonton Oilers. Going to touch on that in a minute. A ton to get to, so let's run through what's on tap, folks. The Florida Panthers bit by the injury bug once again, this time Jonah Gadjevic. We are breaking down the timeline for his expected return. And with the Cats back in Sunrise, they finished off their second long road trip of the season, this time out west. We'll hear from players and the head coach about how they plan to move forward at Amerant Bank Arena. And he's in the trenches with the team, and he's with us on Panthers 360. Jordan McPherson of the Miami Herald joining the program, digging into Gadjevic's absence. And it's something we touch on any way we can, honoring heroes among us. We'll show you how the Florida Panthers stepped up, bringing hot meals to veterans right here in our area. But as we begin, yet another injury for your Florida Panthers. Forward, Jonah Gadjevic expected to be sidelined for the next 3 months with an upper body injury. Gadjevic suffered that injury in the 3-0 win over Las Vegas October 25th. He hasn't played since. Now he's undergoing surgery. Hear from head coach Paul Maurice in a clip provided by the Florida Panthers about the optimism as the season goes on.
This is our team, so we don't have any short-term injuries here. Right? Everybody's out for months, so this is just our team. And then we can say that we will have the best trade deadline year in history because we're going to add hopefully 5 players to our team without having to pay for any of them.
Well, you heard it right there from Coach, hoping to get most of the players back, hopefully by the deadline. Gadjevic joins a list that just keeps growing. Let's hope no more added to this. We know our captain Alexander Barkov could be out for the remainder of the regular season, recovering from that ACL injury. Also inching closer to December-ish. The words of General Manager Bill Zito in regards to Matthew Tkachuk. Tomas Nosek continues to be sidelined with a knee injury, and defenseman Dmitry Kulikov expected to be out at least through February with an upper body injury. You almost need 2 hands now to count the number of long-term injuries for the Florida Panthers. This week, I brought the topic up to Jordan McPherson of the Miami Herald. Listen to this. Who fills in the gap there, and what do you think about this newest injury?
Yeah, I mean, it's another big hit for them. And with Gadjevic, I mean, he played the entire game. He was out there on that final shift. So when Paul Maurice initially said that he was going to be out, he'd be reevaluating a week, I thought, okay, a week long, okay, no big deal. They have enough fourth-line depth. 3 months, that's another big hole. I mean, him and Tomas Nosek now from that fourth line out long term. You're going to look at Noah Gregor's going to keep getting time on that wing, on that right wing on the fourth line with AJ Greer left wing and Cole Schwinn at center. And that line has looked pretty good over this road trip over these last 3 or so games that they've been together. So I like what they see. I see from that group, that line has been building some chemistry pretty quickly. But yeah, now we're up to 5 guys who are mainstays in this lineup that are out long term. Obviously, Gadjevic now, I mentioned Tomas Nosek, the 2 big guys in Alexander Barkov and Matthew Tkachuk, and then Dmitry Kulikov being out for about 5 months as well with the injury and the surgery he underwent. So a lot of weathering that the Panthers have to do, but that's the thing about this team that Bill Zito built. They have so much depth that, for the most part, they have been able to weather a lot of this so far. It's a matter of just how long they're going to be able to sustain this with so many big bodies out.
Yeah, it really shows how strong the organization is that they built for depth, but that depth is definitely being challenged now. So you have Gadjevic out. But, you know, with that, now we're looking at timelines Kulikov injury that hurt us as well because he just doesn't make mistakes. But when you look at timeline and when people come out, now that's a thing with the Panthers when they come back. Matthew Tkachuk, we talked about General Manager Bill Zito. He used the words himself, December-ish. I was asking before we started this, could that mean practice ice soon, or you think December is when he could actually see the ice for the first time? What are we looking at for a potential comeback with Matthew Tkachuk?
Yeah, so that December-ish timeline, it's an interesting one because Matthew Tkachuk, even before he underwent surgery, he told ESPN that if he had surgery, it'd be likely January would be when he would return to games. So my gut is saying that December-ish timeline would be when he gets to practice. Obviously, it's still that December timeline, still a month away. Hoping to get some clarity from Paul Maurice once the team comes back from the road trip about where things stand, both with him and Alexander Barkov. I know Barkov's out for a lot longer than Tkachuk, and the hope for Barkov is to be back for the playoffs, but it'll still be good to see some more updated timelines with both of them.
The Florida Panthers finishing off their West Coast road trip with a .500 record, picking up wins against the Kings and Golden Knights, losing to Anaheim and San Jose. But a huge bright spot on the road, forward Brad Marchand, playing some of the best hockey we've seen from the 37-year-old. In the Cats' final game out west against Vegas, Florida bounced back, a 3-2 win over a Knights team that had been sitting second in the Pacific Division. In clips provided by the Florida Panthers, hear from head coach Paul Maurice and defenseman Donovan Sabrango, who tally one of the best games of his young career.
I mean, it's always fun to get points, but that's not why they brought me in. But it's always fun to get a couple points, and your first one you always remember.
I think he's played the same game, and that's a really impressive thing because he doesn't have a lot of NHL experience. He's still a young man. But he has been very, very consistent in his style of game.
Sabrango notched his first career points against Vegas on the 10th, and during the game, someone who may have been a little more excited for him was his mom, Kim. Yeah, on X, she posted this message, cheering on her son's first assist.
As the Panthers roll through the next month, let's keep you up to speed about the next upcoming long road trip. It's going to take the Panthers into December on the 10th. That's a Wednesday. The Cats take on the Utah Mammoth. Then a day later, they face off against the Colorado Avalanche. Then the day off, it's off to Dallas to play the Stars December 13th. The Panthers will end that road trip in the Sunshine State December 15th. Oh, the Battle of Florida against the Tampa Bay Lightning, a game you can see right here on South Florida's 9. Before that, though, fans will get a chance to see the Panthers play 11 out of the next 12 games on home ice, a stretch of 5 in a row before a short trip to Nashville on the 24th. In that slate, 2 big games we're highlighting, home against Tampa on the 15th and home against Edmonton on the 22nd. You know the history here. Back-to-back Stanley Cup final showdowns with the Oilers. In 24, the Panthers went up 3-0 in the series, looked to be rolling, only to see Edmonton even things out and force that Game 7. Last season, Florida captured their second straight Stanley Cup, defeating the Oilers in 6 games, celebrating on home ice for the second year in a row. How awesome was it? Sam Bennett won the Conn Smythe Trophy as the playoff MVP. Remember the season before, Connor McDavid took home the hardware with the Oilers, becoming just the 6th player in history to win it on a losing Cup final team. Speaking of McDavid, an interesting nugget earlier this month. He actually became the 4th fastest player in NHL history to reach 1,100 career points. Did so in just 726 games. Now the 69th player in the league history to reach that milestone. Only Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, and Mike Bossy accomplished it faster. Now let's talk about those Tampa Bay Lightning. Last season, those two rivals, we split their 4-game series. November 15th, going to be the first time the two meet this regular season. It was that preseason finale, though. Ooh, saw more than 300 combined penalty minutes and more than a dozen misconducts. All time, these teams have played 161 regular season games. The postseason record, an even 500, 10-10. As we continue, we do it almost every show, keeping tabs on the guys in the farm. This time, we're going back to the ECHL, catching up with the Savannah Ghost Pirates. All right, time to go down to the farm, and we start with heading north in Jacksonville. That's where the Panthers ECHL affiliate, the Savannah Ghost Pirates, took on the Jacksonville Icemen, the affiliate of the Buffalo Sabres. Let's start it out with Mitchell Russell scoring from the top and notching his first goal of the season. Big congrats to him. Fast forward a few nights later, the Ghost Pirates played the Atlanta Gladiators, the affiliate of the Nashville Predators. Matt Koopman scoring the only goal for the Ghost Pirates that night, his second of the season. We cannot forget about the Charlotte Checkers taking on the Syracuse Crunch, the AHL affiliate of those Tampa Bay Lightnings. Bad blood truly here, boiling over to the American Hockey League. Look at this late hit causing a rumble between Mackenzie Entwistle and Lucas McCurry. Mackenzie would get the last lap though, netting his first goal of the season. Charlotte going on to sweep the series. Ahead, we're staying stateside, diving into the hometowns of the Florida Panthers, showing you how this player giving it his all, trying to compete for a spot on Team USA. You're watching Panthers 360. All right, more than a dozen games under their belt, the Florida Panthers have wrapped up their second long road trip of the season. The team is spending more than a week here in South Florida now. I want to go back to my conversation with Jordan McPherson of the Miami Herald, discussing some of the surprises he's seen early on. Any other players that, you know, we're expecting to really jump off here soon, or somebody that, you know, really needs to up their game?
Yeah, no, I've been a big fan of what Mackie Samoskevich has done so far this year. He's in his second full year after playing basically every game last season as a rookie. Ended up sitting out the playoffs just because the style of game, the physicality really got to him, but he's really made an impact so far this season. 7 assists on the season, 9 points. He's getting run on the top power play unit, alternating between the top power play and the second power play. But his speed down the ice, he has an incredible shot, an incredible left-handed shot. He just seems to be finding the right holes to make plays, and he's not trying to overdo it. And the fact that the Panthers have had so many injuries, he's had to basically play in a bunch of different roles. He played on a line with Sam Bennett, and now he's with Sam Bennett and Jesper Boquist. He's played on a line where Evan Rodriguez was the center. He's played basically all 4 lines during his Florida career to this point, and he knows what's expected of him depending on where they slot him. And he's really showing his versatility now, and that's something that was something he needed to work on and really take a step up going into this offseason, and he's really stepped up there. And then defensively, I'm gonna give a shout out to the new kid, Donovan Sabrango. The Panthers claimed him off waivers from Ottawa early in the season. It took him about a week and a half before he could actually join the team because of a visa issue. And then once he stepped into the lineup against the Stars earlier, about just before this road trip, he sort of settled down that third defensive pair with Jeff Petrie.
It is a milestone that may never be reached again in the NHL as we begin to go around the league, the entire hockey world, pausing last week, recognizing greatness, a true icon of the sport. Against the St. Louis Blues, Washington Capitals captain Alex Ovechkin scored his 900th NHL goal. In his 21st NHL season, Ovechkin became the first player in league history to reach that 900 goal mark. Last season, you'll remember he passed a great one, Wayne Gretzky, scoring his 895th goal against the New York Islanders April 6th. Now, he stands alone at 900. Gretzky previously held the record, 894, so if you're looking for the next active player on that all-time goal list, Penguins captain Sid the Kid, Sidney Crosby, currently 16th with 636 goals. Nashville center Steven Stamkos behind him with 584. And speaking of goals, a major milestone for Stars forward Mikko Rantanen, netting his 300th and 301st career goals last week against the Oilers. He becomes only the 4th Finnish player to reach that milestone. Perfect transition to our next topic. Last week we touched on what will be the first Winter Classic played in Florida. That's this coming January when the Panthers and New York Rangers meet at Lone Depot Park in Miami. A month later, Tampa and Boston play at Raymond James Stadium for the NHL Stadium Series. We now know more about the games next season that will be played outside of NHL arenas. The league announced last week AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys, will be the host of the 2027 Stadium Series on February 20th. That'll be the first time an NHL game will be played at Jerry World. As of today, we're still awaiting word on who the Dallas Stars will play in that game. Well, it's a tradition of the Florida Panthers honoring heroes among us. This week, it's special. The team held the first of 2 military appreciation nights to honor those who have served our country. A big salute. Last season, I had the pleasure of meeting a couple of World War II veterans, bonding over their service as well as their love for the game of hockey. Richard Rossi, Sidney Edson, and Alfred Haworth are all 101 years young, each of which call South Florida home. All 3 men were honored as heroes among us during Panthers games just last year. Now, just weeks before the Thanksgiving holiday, the Florida Panthers, in partnership with Amazon, volunteered to provide lunch to 80 veterans at the West Palm Beach VA Hospital.
I'm a Marine Corps veteran. This means the world to me, to come in here and to give back to those that came before me and to show support, to show the respect that, you know, we have as American citizens to give back to those veterans.
We all say that for you people to come in and give us all these, you know, and speak and give us these mementos, it's very nice. It helps us.
The Florida Panthers have a year-long relationship with the West Palm Beach VA. Stay tuned for our stories as I continue to listen to veterans honored by the club. Well, it is a mask with a mission. Sergei Bobrovsky, check it out, debuting his Hockey Fights Cancer mask during practice this month. The Florida Panthers posting these pics to social media. Hockey Fights Cancer, it's a year-round campaign dedicated to those battling the disease and raising awareness to help find a cure. It was back in October the Panthers hosted Pink at the Rink Night, helping fundraise for Panthers on the Prowl campaign created by General Manager Bill Zito and his wife Julie. Julie is a breast cancer survivor. The Panthers holding their Hockey Fights Cancer Night against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh, Marchand stick handles, and he scores a beauty! The best thing I saw this week, the play of Brad Marchand. Since he's returned from a leave of absence, he's tallied goals in 5 straight games. Check out this beauty of a backhander against the Golden Knights last Monday. We also remember that memorable goal against the Dallas Stars November 1st, pointing to the sky. Remember, he also netted the eventual game winner in the shootout. In games against the Ducks, Kings, and Sharks, number 63 got on the score sheet. Following the game against San Jose, hear from the man himself about how he continues to build chemistry with his teammates.
I just think it's a product of playing with really good players. I mean, you know, you saw last year that Lucy and Lindy and I have really good chemistry, and just kind of carried that into this year. You know, I think we're, you know, like you said, consistent in the way that we play game to game. We don't really change it up and play pretty direct, so we try to get pucks in the net and good things happen.
Hey, something to keep in mind here. Marchand is inching closer to the 1,000 point mark. This fan showing his Marchand love as well. Thank you, J.M. Fritz from Boca Raton. Love the custom jersey, pal. Remember, we want to see your excitement at Panthers games. Keep sending them in to me, and we'll keep showing them here on Panthers 360. We'll be right back. Each week here on Panthers 360, we love to highlight the roots of your Florida Panthers. Listen, this week we are headed to Arlington, Texas, the hometown of defenseman Seth Jones. Did you know before there was Las Vegas, there was Arlington? Yeah, the city was the largest gambling destination in the country in the 30s and 40s. According to the city's website, the illegal casino drew the likes of Al Capone, Bonnie and Clyde, Clark Gable. And if you eat nachos while watching Jones on the ice, know this, his hometown is where the favorite snack was invented. Happened at the Arlington Stadium, former home of the Texas Rangers. Also, he's the son of Popeye Jones, NBA star. During Jones's day with the Cup, he took the Cup back to Arlington's area, visited many of the rinks he grew up practicing at before making it big. Jones could represent Team USA during the Olympics in Milan in February. It was over the summer. He participated in the training camp for Team USA, telling the media it would be a complete honor to represent the Stars and Stripes if selected.
Yeah, it means a lot. You know, I think probably 6 or 7 months ago, my name probably wasn't in there. You know, I'm grateful that I came to a situation where I could, my game could really open back up and, you know, try to play to the best of my ability. And so I'm happy that my name is kind of in that list, in that long list at the moment. And I think it's up to me to, you know, to play gold medal is something that, you know, can't be replicated and everyone wants to win it.
Hey, look at this. We're already starting to see some of those Olympic threads. Team Canada and Team Finland unveiling their home and away jerseys on social media. Team Canada sporting that iconic maple leaf on the front in both red and black. Finland's jersey each have the country's crest in both white and blue. All right, best of luck to all those involved with the Olympics. Of course, many more stories to come prior to Milan for sure. Next, let's open the vault like we do every week and recap this week in Panthers history. 2 for the price of 1 on the same day 3 years apart. First up, we're going back to last year, November 9th, 2024. On that night, the Florida Panthers extended their winning streak to 7 games, a 4-3 shootout win over the Philadelphia Flyers. Evan Rodriguez scoring the deciding goal in the 5th round of the shootout. That 7-game win streak tied for the 5th longest in team history. And if you're wondering, doing the calculations about the longest, 2021-22 season, the team won 13 straight games from March 29th to April 23rd. That same year to the day, November 9th, a piece of history for captain Alexander Barkov. In a 7-3 loss to the New Jersey Devils, the captain cemented his place in Cats history, netting his 189th career goal. That score moved him past Ali Jokinen for the most all-time in the franchise's history. Keeping track at home there, the captain currently holds the record for the most goals in Panthers history with 286. Next on the list, Jonathan Huberdeau with 198. The next active player, Sam Reinhart, currently 4th on the list, 166. Throughout the captain's more than decade-long career with the Panthers, he currently leads the franchise in goals, assists, points, and power play goals. That's a list that, of course, could get longer once Barkov returns from injury, hopefully sooner rather than later. I want to thank you so much for making us part of your evening here on Panthers 360. You can check out our weekly interviews, just like we interviewed Jordan McPherson there, every Monday at 12:15 on our WPTV YouTube page. For Panthers 360, I'm Mike Trent.